What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. Now, what exactly am I going to be speaking about in this today's video? I'm going to be talking about something that is extremely important to understand. Okay, this subject literally gets to the root of how you can become, let's say, a master of manifestation. There's a lot of people that come to me and want to know the specific mantra, want to know the specific practice, want to know the specific visualization in order to manifest what it is that they desire. Now, there are 4 primary layers to be able to manifest almost flawlessly, like being able to manifest very efficiently in the shortest period of time. And in order to do that, you have to understand these 4 different layers. This is exactly what I'm going to be speaking about in this today's video. So if this is something that you feel like you've been drawn to, and you feel like a part of you wants to know this information and use it to your own advantage, then definitely you have one thing to do, and that is to simply stay tuned. All right, let me first start with introducing myself, just in case you don't know who I am. My name is Jeremiah Schwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied when it comes to the 22 major arcana of the tarot deck, and I'm also studied when it comes to planetary energies in direct association with astrology. Now, with that being said, let's move right on into our subject here. Okay, so here we go. There are layers to manifestation. 4 primary layers. If any of these layers are out of balance, or if any of these layers are, we could look at the analogy like there's a kink in the hose, then your manifestations are not going to function properly. Your manifestations are actually not even going to happen most of the times. And there's a order to these different layers. So there's layer 1, which is the most surface level. There's layer 2, which is a little bit deeper, layer 3, which is deeper, and then layer 4, which is the deepest layer. And in this video, I'm really going to be discussing these layers so that you can understand the approach on how to navigate this within your own psyche, within your own consciousness, and better align yourself to what it is that you're trying to manifest. Because would it shock you if I told you that a lot of the times the things that you're trying to manifest have nothing to do with your true self? They have nothing to do with what it is that you're actually supposed to be manifesting. So in other words, you're wasting a lot of time and energy trying to manifest something that's not even supposed to be manifest. And you can imagine how much energy that actually takes out of you. That's like not a good thing. That's wasting energy. And this is because one of these layers, the deeper ones, are blocked or are not understood and are not being worked with properly. So with that being said, let me start with discussing these layers. So the first layer of manifestation is the physical. This is the layer where it's like, okay, I'm doing the physical work, I'm doing the physical act, and I want my manifestation to become physical. Like I want it to be tangible. A very important layer. Okay, that's the first layer. The second layer to manifestation is the mental. This is the mindset that is required to create that manifestation. So if you're wanting, let's say, to manifest money, then you need to have a mindset that allows you to manifest that money. You need to know, okay, well, my mind is capable of manifesting anything. And if I use my mind and put it in the right area, and I work hard, and I understand the process mentally, then I will eventually achieve the result that I'm looking for, in this case, money. So the mindset is very important. Now, the third layer is the emotional layer. Okay, so remember, from 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're getting deeper. So the third layer is the emotional. So this more so connects us by a soul level. So the mind is more of a masculine energy, it's the mental level, and then we have the soul level, which is more emotional, energy and motion. So basically what this means is, does it actually feel right in regards to what I'm manifesting? So we'll use the example for money. do I feel like I'm wanting to manifest the amount of money that I actually want? Do I feel like I actually want money in this way, so to speak? Because there's many ways to get money. There are some ways that are very quick and some ways that take longer. But really, what feels more authentic to who and what you are? Because there are going to be different processes that one has to go through in order to manifest this money. And whatever route you choose, it will take you, generally speaking, through a different journey. So feeling what it is that you're trying to manifest, does it feel right? That's the emotional layer. Or does it feel like, no, this is not me. This is not what I want. And oftentimes, this is where a big separation takes place in a lot of people. A lot of people are stuck on that second layer. They're working hard on the first layer, the physical, and then the second, which is the mental, but they're not tuning into the emotional layer. So they're trying to manifest something that actually really does not feel right for them, intuitively speaking. And this is that exact dynamic that I was just talking about, where the mind is working in one direction, and now the soul is working in a different direction. And I promise you, your soul will govern your life experience. So think of it like this. The soul governs the unconscious and the subconscious mind. The mental layer and the physical layer are more so of the prefrontal cortex, more so what we have an ability to sort of control, and we have an ability to grasp. So it's like, yes, we can try to control what it is that we're trying to manifest, but if on that deep unconscious subconscious layer, we are not supposed to manifest that, or it's a waste of our potential, then our own unconscious and subconscious mind will actively be working against us manifesting what we're trying to manifest, even though we're applying the physical effort and the mental effort. This is why it's so important to understand these layers, and this is why there's a lot of people that fail at what it is that they do. Just generally speaking, there's a lot of people that fail in their manifestations, and this is one of the big reasons. Now, just generally speaking, if you have a strong enough willpower and a strong enough mindset, and you're open enough to learn from your mistakes, even if you go down the wrong path, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because you will course correct as you go. So you could think of it like your soul, your true self, will actually be reorchestrating your path as you're going through it. So you may go into it with this mindset like, this is how it's going to get done, this is what I'm going to become. But as long as you're open-minded enough to know that maybe things could change a little bit, now you're giving your higher self or your unconscious and subconscious mind room to transform or room to change certain circumstances that you may not be aware of right now. So we want to make sure we're not just looking at things from a black and white perspective here. Like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I working towards the right manifestations? I don't want to, the last thing you want to do is freeze because you're afraid of manifesting the wrong thing, okay? Freeze because you don't know what to do. You want to move in a direction. And if you're moving in the wrong direction, that's fine. Just be open enough to learn as you go through that direction, because your path can recalibrate itself as long as you're open to that, as long as you're willing to learn, okay? It really does come down to the intent. The intent is very powerful. So once again, that third layer is the emotional layer. Does it actually feel right to you on a soul level? Is it in alignment with your purpose? In alignment with who you truly are? Now, once again, this can be a little bit uncomfortable if you don't know who you truly are. If you do not understand the gist of your purpose, it can leave people in a space where it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what action am I supposed to be taking? A lot of people have no sense of their own emotional state. So how am I supposed to follow my soul, and how am I supposed to listen to my emotions if I've never been taught, or if I've never allowed myself to get in touch with my emotional body? Once again, in that case, you can use the mind. The mind is always active. If the emotional system within the body is shut down, the mind will be active. And then the physical components will be active too. So as long as you're taking the physical actions and you're using mindset to work your way through what you feel, I don't want to say feel like, what you think is in your best interest, with the openness of being ready for change, meaning, once again, you're moving into a direction, you think you know everything that's taking place, but you're also open to things you don't know. If you take that action and you're open, once again, your unconscious, your subconscious, and your own higher self will course correct you through the journey. So this is the better step to take rather than just shutting down and freezing because you don't know what to do, okay? Now, the fourth layer, this is the deepest layer of manifestation. And guess what it is? It's the spiritual, okay? So as we look at the emotional layer, which is the third, and then the fourth, which is the spiritual, there is a reason why these emotions are at play. There is a reason why your own higher self, see, this is where I can really use these words like higher self, you know, the reason why you've incarnated, you know, what is your soul resonance? Like there are literal reasons as to why you became a human being and what your goal is from an evolutionary perspective for being here. And this really all connects into the spiritual aspect of manifestation. So it's like you're looking at it and you're like, okay, on the physical level, first level, these are the things I need to actively be doing to manifest what I want. On the second level, I need to have the right mindset to know how this process functions. Thank you for confirming that. I appreciate you. I need to have the right, look, I don't know if you can see it. It's right up there. Hey, you can see it right there. They like that I'm sharing this message. Definitely make sure you hit the thumbs up and you hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when I post content like this. And also, I appreciate the thumbs up, okay? And also, go in the comment section. Let me know if this information is already speaking to you at a deep level, because I know it is, okay? You don't need to tell me twice, but I like to look over the comments and see how it's impacting you. All right, thank you, I appreciate it. The bird's listening to me speak right now. Okay, the bird's learning from me. So here we go. So as I was saying, on that second level, you need to have the right mindset to understand this is the process that it takes to manifest what it is that you're trying to do, okay? Now on that third level, it's the emotional side. It's the, okay, is this feeling right for me? Does this actually feel like the right path that I'm supposed to be taking? Does it feel like it? Like, is it right? Now on that fourth level, it's like, why is this all happening in the bigger picture? Okay, why does this feel right to me? What is it that my own soul and my spirit is actually trying to manifest here on this planet? What is it that it's trying to do? What is it trying to accomplish? Okay, we hear the concept in the occult field called the great work, achieving the great work. What is this great work? What is this goal that my spirit and my soul is trying to accomplish on this planet? And when I look outside of these things, from that fourth level, you can even observe the emotional state. You can say, why does my own physical body resonate with these things emotionally? What is the spiritual principles and what are the spiritual symbols that are behind the emotional level? Okay, so this is like this is a very deep perspective to have, and this is something that so many people lack in. Like so many people, most people on our planet are lacking the spiritual level. They're lacking that spiritual degree of recognizing the cosmic laws, right? Which is nothing happens for no reason. We are all connected by the same source. Everything is connected by the same source. We're just different aspects of it interacting with itself, okay? We're all one. As above, so below. What's happening literally in space, in our cosmos, in our universe is a direct manifestation of what's also physically manifesting on our planet as we speak. So we can actually learn from nature. We can learn from how things are structured, how buildings are structured, how people behave, certain types of organizations, groups, communities. We can learn so much about our universe by observing these aspects of real life, okay? And as within, as without, what you're seeing in front of you most often as an external manifestation is a direct projection of what is taking place internally for yourself. So you can use your actual physical environment and the situations that you go through as a navigation tool to recognize what type of internal work you're doing, okay? All things find balance in the universe no matter what. You don't need to take control and think that you always need to bring balance. Things naturally always find a homeostasis in our universe, okay? Things will always recalibrate and rebalance themselves. What else? the polarities, okay, the masculine and the feminine polarity. These two polarities exist in our universe very prominently, and yes, we have both of them within our bodies, within our beings, our energetic beings. And it's important for us to understand the differences between these two polarities, but also how they can work together to better understand the whole, to better understand the all, the source, if you will. So once again, it is these cosmic principles, and it's the occult, spiritual aspects of life itself, which really allows us to develop that fourth layer ability of seeing things from a spiritual point of view. Okay, so like, because I have a strong fourth level development, my manifestations can very easily manifest through symbols. So I can see signs based on things that I understand on a spiritual level that make no rational sense to anyone, but those signs mean something very deep to me, and I understand it very clearly. So I can act on this very unrational symbol that means something very sincere to me and also feels right, and I can produce a result from it. And then the outside world looks at me like, how the hell did you just do that? That makes no sense. And that's the point. It doesn't need to make sense. It's more of a subjective realization. It's something that I'm aware of. Okay, and people that are developed on that fourth level of their manifestation abilities, they often can recognize these symbols in archetypal patterns. So like, even though I see a symbol, it means something to me, it's because I'm reading the energetics of that symbol, and someone else that's developed on that same level, they would also be able to read those same energetic frequencies from that symbol as well. And we could get the same understanding together, if you will. All right. So now there's also, so once again, these are the 4 layers of how to manifest. Okay, if you want your manifestations to work effortlessly, as I said, the most important thing to really take from this is the layers where most people get stuck is the first 2, the physical and the mental, and then they are lacking the emotional, and then they're lacking the spiritual. And it's a lot harder to get to the spiritual level if you haven't somewhat worked on the emotional. I actually think there has to be some form of an emotional work, an emotional acknowledgement, an emotional embracing feeling in order to get to that deeper spiritual level. This is also correspondent with the Kabbalistic tree, where literally in the form of initiation from Malkuth going up to Kether, literally the start of initiation starts with Malkuth and then enters directly into the sphere of the moon, which is Yesod, which is represented as the foundation. So it's in Kabbalah, it shows that the feminine energy, the emotion, the moon, is the foundation of the rest of your spiritual developments. Okay, and obviously the Kabbalistic tree is the tool to develop that spiritual level of awareness. So even there, it shows us that sign. But even though I've said what I've said, there are also, in the spiritual community specifically, there are a lot of people that actually have... Yeah, I'm trying to word this as best as I can. Okay. There are a lot of people in the spiritual community specifically that are once again doing the work on the physical level, and then they're doing the work on the mental level. Now, obviously, for example, there may be people doing it right now with what I teach. You know, I'm somebody who's really worked with those deeper layers. So I am a real seer. I'm a real being that can see real deep symbolism that most people have no idea about. When people learn from me, based on that physical and that mental layer, they're now applying the physical practices that it is that I recommend to develop these deeper layers, and they're learning based on the knowledge that I have. So the mental layer of self-development picks up on knowledge. It picks up on data, picks up on information. So people pick up on that from me, and that energetically influences them. And it, once again, I'm using me as an example, but this can happen with other people that have developed these deeper layers in their consciousness. And I'll just keep using myself as an example, but people can use that energy from a real seer like myself, and they can sometimes start to psych themselves out. So this is because there is once again a lack of the true 3rd layer, which is the emotional layer, And because of that, they actually don't have their own fourth layer. They don't have their own deeper spiritual connection. So basically what's happening is they're using their mental layer and they're using their physical layer, 1 and 2, to try to reflect me, who is someone who's really developed that third and that fourth layer. So what this generally looks like is someone who's mentally got all the spiritual knowledge and they're doing all these spiritual practices, yet they're very out of tune of their true self still. Even though they may be doing thank you for confirming, I appreciate that. Even though they may be completely doing all the practices the exact way they're supposed to be doing it, even though their mindset may be very strong and their willpower is very strong, they still don't have their own emotional body integrated and they don't have their own spiritual body fully integrated yet. So what this results in, once again, is someone who thinks, this is the key word, they think they're very spiritual. They think they are. And they overly think this. And they like to pretend that they're seeing all these symbols and they're seeing all these signs, which they may be seeing, but it's actually not coming necessarily from more of that soul place. It's coming off of just what they're holding in their mental. This is a little bit hard to understand, so I'm not going to go too in depth with that concept. But basically, they're not having their own connection to the universe. They're not having their own connection to nature. They're using concepts that they've learned from other people as their immediate response to what that symbol means because someone else told them, rather than what does that symbol actually mean to you. This is the best way I can explain this. What does that symbol actually mean to you without anyone telling you what it means? What does it feel like to you? Because this is the key. In order to get to that fourth level of understanding the symbol, you have to actually feel what it means to you. Now, if you're lacking the ability to feel, then clearly you're going to lack the ability to have your own spiritual awareness. So what happens is they jump to a label that has been given to them. It could have been by me. They could have studied my YouTube channel and they watch what I teach and they're like, oh, Jeremiah says that this symbol represents this. So when that symbol appears in their life, and look, I'm not saying that this is wrong, and I'm not saying that there's not a place for this. This can actually very much so create a foundation for someone to start developing their own spiritual awareness by giving them just a baseline structure. Thank you. By giving them a baseline structure of what certain symbols represent. But over time, it's important that the person recognizes that they are their own unique spiritual being, and that no matter what, different types of symbolism, different types of imagery can mean completely different types of things on that more so subjective level. So it comes back to what I just said. What does that symbol actually feel like to you, and what does it mean to you? I may say it means this, but do you have more trust in me, or do you have more trust in you for what the symbol means to you? Because that symbol may mean this thing for me, and I may believe that, and I may resonate with that on a personal level, but does that mean it's 100% authentic for what you believe and what you resonate with? So this is where we get into those deeper layers, the emotional body and the physical body. Now, once again, what I'm saying is not wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong by any means to learn from other people and to get symbols or get meanings from symbols based on what other people teach. This is how you start. This is how you start to realize, oh, a symbol even means something. This can be very foundational in nature, but at some point in your spiritual self-development, you're meant to progress past that. And it doesn't mean that you're supposed to completely discard the symbol that you've learned maybe from somebody else, but you can also go deeper with it. What else does it mean? You know, this person said this symbol means this, but what else does it mean to you on that personal subjective level, based on the emotions that you receive by connecting to it? So this is, once again, how you get to those deeper levels. But a lot of people in the spiritual community, they get stuck, okay? They get stuck on that physical and that mental level. And this is why a lot of people in the spiritual community suck at manifesting. It's like, how are you living a very shitty life for years on end? How are you living in a life where you are completely degrading as a person in all areas? I'm talking about physical, mental, emotional. You're stressed out all the time. Your physical body is not working with you. You're emotionally unattached, or you're emotionally just shut off, I should say. And how are you degrading in all these areas of life, yet you are this spiritual being that has all this divine knowledge that you can use to create the life you want to live. There's obviously a disconnect there. Okay, there's obviously a sign that this person is not necessarily what they think they are, because their true self hasn't been able to fully express yet. And this happens a lot in the spiritual community, where people get too stuck in the mind and then too stuck in the physical and are lacking that emotional connection. That's the nervous system connection. That's like how the higher self operates through the physical body. So when you're lacking that connection through the emotional energy body, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay, it's like trying to be a spiritual master, yet you're addicted to drugs, and you're addicted to food, and you're addicted, you know you have these problems, but you're not doing the work to try to understand, why am I addicted? Why am I eating all these foods that I know are killing me and I know are not good for me, yet I am the spiritual master? There's a disconnect. And the way that disconnect gets solved is by starting to embrace more of the emotional energy fields, which is the feminine, truly, is letting go, trusting the process, stop trying to control everything. All those symbols that you've learned, all those meanings that you've come to understand because of what you've been taught, there's a time and place to let all that go. Even though they may still serve you, even though they may have validity, there's a time and place to completely let all that go and just be present in the universe. Like if you could imagine yourself as an actual baby, a little baby, before you were ever taught anything, you're just observing everything. You're only observing the shapes, you're observing the sensations on your body, you're observing the smells, you're listening to what's coming in. This is a powerful state, and that is a feminine energy. Babies come in with that automatic feminine energy. They're just like, what's going on? I need survival. And they just completely rely on the universe to nurture them. They have no power to really do anything else but their power of complete surrender. And that is why we're so attracted to children, in the sense that if you were to see a little kid in a state where it needs guidance or it needs some sort of support, it's like almost everyone has that internal compass that says, oh, let me help this little kid. Let me help them. Let me get them what they need. Let me help nurture them. It's because they're pulling on that energy of complete surrender. It's that feminine energy. And as you grow up, like I'm 27 years old, I can access this energy as well when I enter that state of complete surrender, and the universe communicates back to me and it supports me with what it is that I need. So once again, this is exactly what it is that I really wanted to communicate in this video today, okay? I think I talked about enough, and obviously I could go in a lot more depth with these concepts, but I think the most important part was really to just get it out there and give you the perspective of these 4 different levels of manifestation, so that you can understand that if one of these levels is blocked, I don't even like using that word. If one of these levels is not understood properly and not worked with properly, I don't like using the word blocked, not worked with properly, then your manifestations are not going to happen the way that you actually want them to happen. And they're not going to happen effortlessly. Real manifestation is actually effortless. It's effortless because you're just following that internal compass within, knowing you are where you're supposed to be, trusting the process, and your mind aligns itself with the emotional body, with the spiritual body. Therefore, your mind is actually focused more on manifesting more of what you're supposed to have. So it becomes so effortless. All right, but it takes work and it takes time, it takes patience. It's challenging. There are many ups and downs that you have to go through to really understand this whole process. But once again, the reason why I made this video is so that you as a listener could really get this structural context of what it is that I'm talking about in connection with manifestation. All right, and you're probably not going to hear this anywhere else. Okay, this type of breakdown in the way that I did it. So once again, if you appreciated this content, hit the thumbs up, drop down in the comment section, let me know, hit the notification bell, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because by subscribing, you're further linking into the content itself, which means you'll get more value from what it is that I'm teaching, literally. Okay, if you want to get more value, subscribe. Now also, with that being said, you have my full permission to copy and paste this link and send it out to anybody, family, friends, social media platforms, you name it. My intention is to spread this content like a wildfire. Now I want to say this, if you want to take your studies and your practices to an even deeper degree, then I would definitely recommend checking out my Patreon. Okay, my Patreon is the first link in the YouTube description. You can't miss it. At this point, it's like a secondary YouTube channel, except everything on there is more advanced and more personal than what you're getting on my public channel. All right. As you move into tier 2, you're gaining access to an entire magic training course, which is extremely valuable if you're just getting started. Tier number 3 is called the Universe.B Vampire Service. So this is a tier where I perform an actual occult ritual on the 29th of every single month that is designed to completely transform your energetic structure to be more Universe.B dominant. So essentially what that means is much more receptive, much more of an ability to tap into that dark feminine energy, magnetic energy within yourself. All right. If that's something you're interested in, that would be tier number 3. That is the most popular tier of my Patreon, and that should speak for itself. Then there is tier number 4. This is called Psychic Predictions. So if you are wanting psychic predictions on a monthly basis based on your zodiac sign, I can do that with my tarot deck and my oracle card deck. So definitely consider that if that's something you're interested in. All right. Now, as you move into tier number 2, this is where you can book a personalized tarot card reading from me that I promise you've never received anywhere else, because I understand the Kabbalistic tree way more than the average person does. I've done well over 1,000 readings, been doing this for about 2 years. For other people, I've been doing it longer in general. And I received tons of valuable feedback. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely consider it. Tier number 2, you can book your reading with me. Now, also within that same second tier, you can book a one-on-one call with me. This is like my new favorite service to do because I really like connecting with whoever it is that is learning from me, okay? I learn a lot from that, and obviously it offers a lot of value. So, second link below, you can book a one-on-one call with me. Now, if you want to take it to an even deeper level, I have mentorship options. I have a 6-week mentorship, and I have a 3-month mentorship. So that is amazing for people that are really getting themselves into a form of initiatory evolutionary growth, where I basically become a guide throughout that process, and I help you to navigate what it is that you're going through and what it is that you're experiencing. Okay, so all of that is within that same second link below. So if that's something you want to take advantage of, definitely consider it. Now, as we move into the third link below, this is where you can become a YouTube member. As you become a YouTube member, you're gaining access to a multitude of different benefits, but most importantly, the Psychic Warfare Emoji Program. What this is a sequence of emojis that can be used in a specific configuration where you link in the name of a target, hit enter, and it actually causes psychic effects to the target of your choice. It's the most simple form of utilizing psychic warfare through the internet platform. There are well over 2,000 posts where people have already used it, and there are even people right now in this moment that are taking advantage of it. So if this is something that you want to take advantage of too, you can definitely do so. That would be tier number 3. You click it, then you join, become a YouTube member, and then you'll have access. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly where I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate all of you very, very, very much. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day or night, wherever you are. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.